All right, now we're on to parallel lines cut by a transversal. So using this diagram, here are some important things here. It says line S is parallel to T. What you'll see in geometry is parallel lines will be marked with these little extra arrows. And it's really important that you have those. If you know those are parallel, then you can say that these angle relationships work. The angle relationship is there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're congruent or supplementary unless those two lines are parallel. The other thing, just to remind you, congruent means equal. Supplementary means your two angles add to 180. So there are your two terms there. I'm just going to jump right in. Angle 1 and angle 8 are right next to each other. They make a line. I'm going to call them a linear pair. If we make a line, if we have a linear pair, those two angles are going to add to 180 degrees. They are supplementary. All right, now we're going to do angle 1 and 5. Angle 1 and angle 5. So 1 and 5, they're outside the parallel lines. Here your parallel lines are outside of them. They are also on opposite sides of the transversal. So outside means we're going to say exterior. Opposite sides of the transversal means we're going to say alternate. So these are going to be alternate exterior angles. And alternate exterior angles are congruent. They are equal if your lines are parallel. All right, clean up my picture here in between. 6 and 7. 6 and 7 are right next to each other. They're inside our parallel lines. They're on the same side of the transversal. So inside means I'm going to use interior. Same side means I'm going to say consecutive. So these are consecutive interior angles. We've also seen that called same side interior. Consecutive interior angles are not necessarily equal, but they are always supplementary. Those two are going to add to 180. Okay. 3 and 7. Here's number 3, and here's angle 7. So these are on opposite sides of the transversal, and they're inside my parallel lines. So inside means I'm going to be looking at those interiors. They're on opposite, so this is going to be alternate interior. And alternate interior angles are congruent. All right, 1 and 7. So here's angle 1 and here's angle 7. Here, these make that bow tie shape, and we love the bow tie shape. These are vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent. Last angle relationship we're looking at on this diagram are angle 1 and angle 3. This is kind of the trickiest one to see. So if you look at this, we're kind of on top of each of the parallel lines. They're in that same position. They're on the same side of the transversal. These are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles have kind of that same position. If you think about like the rungs on a ladder where you would step, that's a good way to look at those. So these are corresponding. And corresponding angles are congruent. So we didn't necessarily use all of these. I kind of checked them off as I went just to make sure that I wasn't using one more than all the others. It's a good thing to do. But you're not necessarily going to use everything in that kind of word bank. more angle relationships. So if you know angle 1 is 75 degrees, we want to find the measures of the rest. So I like to do the easy angle relationships first. Angle 7 is going to be the same. And so I have those two. If angle 7 is 75 degrees, then so is angle 3. Those are alternate interior. And so is angle 5. Now, angle 1 and angle 8 make a straight line. So, the math that I'm going to do to find angle 8 is 180 minus 75. And that's going to give me 105 degrees. So angle 8 is 105. Remember, don't rely on our diagrams. Our diagrams are not going to be drawn to scale most of the time. So if 8 is 105, 2 is 105. Those are vertical angles. And angle 6 here, 2 and 6 are alternate interior. 6 is 105. And you guessed it, 6 and 4 are vertical angles. So angle 4 is 105. Quick little diagram. If you know one angle value, you can find all the rest. I love those. They're like a little puzzle. Okay, now we're solving for x. These are a little bit more work. We have to think a little bit about the setup. The setup is the important part here. So I'm going to be really careful. Here, this angle and this one. Those are corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are congruent. They are equal. So what I can do with these is set them equal to each other. And now this looks like a quarter 1 algebra problem. So go ahead and work through solving for x. I'm going to catch up with you. I'm going to subtract over 15x. 17x minus 15x is 2x. I'm going to add my 4 over. And I'm going to divide by 2. The setup is where the geometry comes in. From then, you just solve equations. It's just algebra from there. You have to know the relationships, and the terms are important here as well. So these two are right next to each other. It's really easy to just get on in the flow of just setting everything equal to each other. You'll be right some of the time, but these two you will not. Here, these are consecutive interior. And these add to 180. So I need to take this first angle value, x plus 67, and the second angle value, x plus 127. I need to add them together and set them equal to 180. We're going to get a wildly different answer than if you set them equal to each other. All right, now we're going to combine like terms. We can't move across the equal sign yet. I have an x here and another x here. That's 2 x's. I have 67 and 127. Remember, when we're on the same side of the equal sign, we go with the signs that are there. So in your calculator, you're doing 67 plus 127. Now now we can move across the equal signs. We're going to do the opposite operation. We're going to subtract 194. Divide by 2, we get x equals -7. To make sure this works, you can plug in your -7 and make sure that those two angles would add up to 180. So if I put in -7 here, -7 plus 67 is going to give me 60. If I put in -7 here, and 60 plus 120, those two would add to 180. Quick little check. You have to know the angle relationships so that you can set up your equation. Once your equation is set up, you all know how to algebra your way out of that. Okay, just a couple more. We are almost there. I actually think I'll go ahead and stop this video and I'll do 25, 26, 27, and 28 on another video.